Education is only 1/4 information. The other 3/4 is encouragement. And nothing encourages a child like teaching them about someone that looked like them that accomplished great feats in the past. So we've been through school. Black and white children start school the same way. They hold on to their mother's leg, get peeled off, have to cry, real timid, head down, moving slow. But notice that as both of them matriculate through 12 years of the public school system, I said it right, they going through, but look at what they're learning about. Black and white child are birth learning about white greatness. They learned about George Washington, a white man, Thomas Jefferson, a white man, Einstein, a white man, Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, Thales, Hypothetical, all these are white men. So that white child is learning about people that look like them that accomplished great feats in the past. So after 12 years, he walks out of school with his back straight, chest out, head held high, ready to conquer the world. But the little brother didn't learn about nobody that looked like him that accomplished great feats in the past. So when he walks out, he started with his head down. Now he leaves 12 years later with his head and his pants down because he never learned about people that looked like him. So knowledge of self, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he said is essential to learn. And knowledge of self produces love for self. And when you love yourself, you start doing for yourself. And if I know myself and I love myself and I'm doing for myself and you, my brother, my other self, then I'm going to treat my other self the same way. Guess what happens? All crime, all violence, all mistreatment, envy, jealousy, all the stuff that's plaguing our community, it disappears from knowledge of self and love of self.
What's your thoughts about Black History Month?
Well, it's a pretty little cheap pacifier that they've stuck in our mouth.
You agree with it or disagree with it?
I disagree with it in the sense of this. Here we are, the people with the longest history of anybody on the planet. Yet when it's time to remember us, we get the shortest month of the year. Think about that for a second. And notice that Black History Month in the educational system is never before slavery. It's always from the plantation to the present or the cotton field to the current. You never learned about Imhotep or Mansa Musa or the Nile Valley civilization or Timbuktu or the lost city of Atlantis. We don't learn anything about what we were before we were kidnapped and brought to America and westernized and Caucasianized. We don't learn about what we used to be before we were brought here. We learn about the accomplishments of a slave under the slave master or about a freedom fighter or a revolutionary who either was killed or their movement was broke. So guess what happens to the mind if all we know about is plantation to the present? What happens is if we look back and we see us as slaves living in mud huts, working from can't see morning, can't see night for free, dressed in burlap, then we start getting a little apartment, $10 an hour, couple jackets, and think we didn't really came somewhere. Next thing you know, we start talking about we started from the bottom, now we're here. But if we could really learn about ourselves, we would say we started from the top, and now we're way down here. So in that sense, Black history is a scam that has been offered to give us a pacifier. A pacifier, it looks like a nipple, might even feel like a nipple in the baby's mouth, but no milk is coming out of the pacifier. It's put in the mouth just to put somebody to sleep. And unfortunately, this Black history, the way it's been taught, has put us to sleep. McDonald's said, celebrating Black History 365. We shouldn't have needed McDonald's to say that. We should have said it ourselves. There's no other nation of people that have 1 month to talk about themselves. Every day is about themselves. So we shouldn't allow them to limit us to a 1 month, shortest month of the year, to learn about self. Every day should be Black History Month.
I said this before, but I draw a fence to who's the messenger of Black history. My children, they go to a pretty good school.
Yes, sir.
I take education extremely serious, especially the early development of education, as well as furthering their education as well. But I witnessed something that I said to myself, it's like, are they really getting the trueness of that.
Right.
Because at one particular point in time when you do some soul searching and you start saying yourself and you start asking those questions, it's like, hold on,
Yeah.
where do we come from?
Yeah.
Hey, we living in Georgia,
See?
a slavery state.
That's right.
So if that person who's teaching you about something look like them,
Come on.
and that's not to create divide. That's not to create, a bad guy, a good guy. I just draw offense sometimes when Black history is being taught by a person that is not Black.
Let me show you how, look at how the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan put it. He said, any man that will not treat you right will never teach you right. They're not going, if there's an African proverb that says that if the lion hunter is the one that tells the story will always favor the hunter. So even when we learn this Black history, the reason you offended is because Black history, for the main course, is Martin Luther King Jr. You get you a side dish of Rosa Parks, maybe 3 tablespoons of Frederick Douglass, and maybe a shot glass of some Malcolm X. But you don't get any real history of us before we were in America made slaves. That's the impediment. So we have to start giving our children real homework. Do you know when you graduate from a college, whatever college that we graduate from, we call it our alma mater. Alma mater is German for other mother. So educational institutions are the other mother. So if the educational institution is the other mother, who's the primary teacher? It's the real mother. It's the real father. So we have an assignment to not rely on the school system or any place we deposit our children in to be their primary educator. No, we have to teach our own children. Frederick Douglass said this, that any child that only learns at school is an uneducated child. We have to teach our children ourselves. So give them homework, Brother Cam, and just incentivize it. Offer them some money, and you watch how serious they get. I'm telling you, I almost went broke. My daughter almost got me. She was wrestling with some issues, so I had some books I wanted her to study to help her get it, and it was summertime. I told her, for every book you read, I'm going to quiz you on it, which means I had to read it too, and it's $100 per book. 3 weeks in, she had knocked down 4 books. I said, oh my God, summer vacation is 3 months. I think she did 14 books. And I'm talking about, took notes on all of them, and I quizzed her, and she learned it. So I came to her, I said, well, my word is bond, I got to give you the money I promised you. And when I was going to give her the money, but Cam, look what she said. She said, that's okay, Daddy. What I got from the books is way more valuable than the money. I still gave her some money, but my point is that we have to give our children real homework, and it shouldn't be the regurgitation of stuff that was sent home from school. It should be the stuff that we're putting in our baby's mind that they can take to school with them to have the right mindset to conquer the environment that we deposited them in.
How many children do you have?
3. I have 3 children. Yeah.
I'm going to take that. Because transparently speaking, I've always been the parent that's the school's job to teach my children, right? Ignorantly enough. And I use my own truth sometimes to educate and empower, to not say that this is the right way. It's just to say that I'm flawed and to understand that I'm a work in progress. But when I hear you talk, one of those things that I think about is because by the time I get home, I want to be dead. Wow. By the time I get home, I've provided all my life. I've provided all day and was a servant to so many people, being labeled the boss. Yeah. That means you're just the biggest servant. Yeah. And by the time I see my children, I don't got time, but I need to start making time.
Yeah. Well, this is, so, we have a saying, men sharpen men like steel sharpen steel. So the minister said this. Now, to me, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, why is this man walking among us? Listen what he said. He said, I've never met another human being that was not my superior in some way. that means that everybody can teach everybody something. So I'm learning from you. There's things that you can tell me that I never seen it like that, and I could take it as a jewel and nugget to renegotiate my contract with my life. There might be some things I'm saying that you can help, you can take to use the same, do the same thing for.
Right.
But you had it right though, Brother Cam. It always has broke my heart to drive past a raggedy public school killing field and see parents pulling up in $100,000 vehicles, picking their children up from a raggedy miseducation institution. The number one investment of a real parent should not be their IRA, the 401k, stocks, bonds, real estate. The number one investment of a real parent should be in their children.
Yes, sir.
So if there's anything that's going to be determined for distribution of resources, it'd be better to pull up in a Camry at a good school that's teaching the children properly than to keep pulling up in these $100,000 automobiles, watching our children have a needle stuck in their brain and their spirit killed, their aspirations assassinated, and their dreams snatched. So now you have it. You can use them as reinforcement,
Yes, sir.
but you become the primary enforcer of the wisdom, knowledge that you want them to learn.